Scams and cons. Scams and other cons. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I got to thinking today about scams and cons. But first of all, I want to show you my beautiful, beautiful day out here on Grandma's porch. Well, I went for my 5-mile run, which was wonderful and awesome. And then I came back and worked in the garden a little bit. And my sons and I planted a garden. Now, how well will it grow? We still have no idea because we are not gardeners. Although I grew up around a lot of gardeners, and Grandma was a gardener. So hopefully some of their gardening skills will rub off on me. So I'm having a beautiful day. And I got to thinking about scams and cons. And I was listening to someone last night on one of my shows that I watch. I watch a lot of wisdom. And he was talking about many years ago, someone had really, and they were so authentic or realistic or honest sounding, and they had talked to he and his family that they were donating this huge plane to them and a lot of money. And they were believable. They were absolutely believable. Just the whole, he explained it. He's a very intelligent man, so not easily fooled. Sometimes we think only foolish people get fooled, but that's not true. And so they went to the airport to meet the plane. Of course, the plane never showed up, and it was all a big scam. And he said he never really understood why it happened, or why they did that, other than maybe they just got some kind of excitement off of scamming somebody and making them believe something that was not true. And so that got me to really thinking about scams and cons, because I've seen so many happen to other people in life. Often we'll watch the talk shows and we'll see the older woman who's being scammed, or even a man being scammed from some person in another country, and they want them to send them money and all that. I've actually known someone that was corresponding back and forth, and they even actually knew it was a scam, and yet they corresponded. I don't know why they did that. They don't do it anymore, but they did. They did that. And fortunately, no money was exchanged or anything like that. But, watching these talk shows, you see a lot of these women and some men being scammed out of money through love. Oh, this person loves me, even though I've never met them, and everything doesn't sound quite right, but yet I'm madly in love, and they think I'm wonderful. So people can be scammed in love. And it's not just on the internet, it can be actually even in person. I knew an older woman many years ago who lived in Palm Springs, and she got involved with this much younger man. She was well into her 80s, and she got involved with this much younger man, and she was buying him cars and everything. And, was he a scam artist? I don't know. I do know that the daughter stepped in and put a stop to all of that. And, I understand, people want to enjoy their life, and maybe the feeling of feeling in love is so well worth buying someone a car. I got that. But when it steps even into greater areas than just a car, and a car is a big deal, but even beyond that, it can really be not a good thing. So, and not everybody that we do nice things for is scamming us, and I got that. Most are not. Excuse the phone, I forgot to take it off the hook. So anyhow, I really got to thinking about that sometimes a person's heartstrings can be scammed. And so I don't let my heartstrings be scammed. I always use my mind when I'm making a decision. And so anyhow, I remember also another woman, and she was so desperate for love. She was a much older woman, and she got involved with writing letters back and forth to a convict. And this convict actually got out of jail, and they did connect. And he was really just trying to use her. And I think at some point through a series of events, she came to her senses and stepped out of that relationship. And then another couple, this was an older couple that I had met, and they had become very successful the hard way. They worked hard their whole life. They bought a gorgeous home in a country club. And then somebody came through town, a builder came through town and asked them to invest their money, and they did, and they lost all of it. They lost all of their life savings. And I don't know if it was a scam or a con or just a bad deal, I don't know. But I remember they even had to rent out their cars, and at their older age had to go out to work at minimum wage jobs. And I don't know if they were able to save their house. Their son was a bit of a con artist. He had been an attorney. He was a bit of a con artist. And so I think he also was in the using game, and he manipulated people around him to do things that probably were not in their best interest. So there's all kinds of scams, and it's not always just money. People can pull you into all kinds of things that are not good for you. And so that was one scam I remember. And then I remember another couple decided that they wanted to make some money, so they went to somebody else and they gave this person money, and that person just took off with the money. And I remember when I was really young, they had those pyramid schemes. And I remember my neighbor trying to talk me into it. Of course, I didn't do it. I didn't have any money at the time anyhow. I was really young. I think I was 19 or 20. And I think, everybody lost their money in it. So there's all kinds of scams and cons. Many come through the internet. Many come through sob stories. Now, there are legitimate sob stories or sad stories, and people need help. And that's the shame, because these ones that are cons and scams often make it look bad for the real deal. And so we have to be very discerning who is the real deal in need and who is just giving a fake sob story. So there's all kinds of scams out there. There's unlimited amounts of scams out there. And so it's important to stay on top of our lives. And scams often come through someone close to us. And how I mean by that is it could be a good friend who's being scammed but believes in the deal, and they talk you into the deal because they believe in the deal. And then they find out it falls apart, and then your deal falls apart, and everybody's deals fall apart, and the friendship falls apart because you kind of end up blaming the friend that pulled you into it. So, when it comes to scams and cons and things like that, especially of the heart, I'm just very, very, very careful about it, and just very careful and very thoughtful so that things like that we can avoid. But remember, it's not just foolish people that get scammed and conned. Anyone can be scammed and conned. So always be alert. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.